back in the kitchen again, and this time I've come up with some main dishes for you. Barefoot country cooking is the best part about it is being barefoot. That's one thing. But I do know how to do main dishes. A lot of people think I only know how to do desserts. I would do the crepes with the meal tonight, but I forgot to make the batter up yesterday. And this has been a bad hair day, so we're doing this kind of on the fly kind of thing. So I'm going to adjust that a little bit. And I'm going to back up. I found when I was going through my refrigerator and my freezer that there were several individual pieces of fish. And I don't know if y'all like fish. I know a lot of people like to eat it on Friday fish. I found a piece of salmon. I found some cod. And I think a piece of flounder. So I thought I would show you all how to cook each of these types of fish for each one. I also have some scallops. They're not the big ones. I would have preferred if I had the big ones, but I used them in an Alfredo seafood dish that I made recently, and I'm sorry I'm not making it tonight. But I also have some leftover ham. You can use pre-cooked ham. Actually, that's the best because then you don't have to wait for it to cook when you use a fresh ham. So first thing I did was I julienne sliced the ham, and I have red onion. I wonder, what are the sweet potatoes doing on there? That's for something else. But, so I don't have, actually I gave my husband the last bit of the rice that I had cooked up. There's one staple that you can't go wrong with to make a meal fast is rice. You can have white rice already cooked in the fridge. You can have seasonings and that sort of thing. I normally would do the yellow rice, the Spanish yellow rice. They also have the brand name ones, that's all. So 25 minutes, that's done, right? So I have laid out here, I have my fish in a bowl, and I have another bowl. Now you can use for a wash, or I call it the glue for fish, for breading it or whatever. You can use an egg. Most people use the egg. I like to use alternate. I'll use egg or I'll use milk. So this time I'm going to use milk. So the way you set it up, you can have two different types of breading. You can use breadcrumbs on your fish. I am using coconut flour for my no gluten, or my gluten-free. And then I have oat flour, which is a gluten-free flour over here. I'm only going to use the coconut flour for, what's I going to put the coconut flour? I believe I was going to do that on the trout or the cod. One of the two whitefish anyway. So fried fish doesn't take long. It really doesn't. It only takes a few minutes. So with that said, we'll do the fry because I have my oil getting good and hot over here. I've got it actually on a low to medium setting. And that way I don't have to have the vent on the stove so high. So to do fish as your main dish, and a healthy main dish at that, you take your fish. Now I had to thaw this in the microwave. Believe it or not, overnight it did not thaw in my fridge. I've got a good refrigerator. And you dip the fish in the milk, both sides. Now, if you want to have an extra crunchy kind of outside, then you're going to do it twice. So you're going to take that milk-coated fish, you're going to put it in this case, it's coconut flour. And you're going to put that in there. And this is where I think a lot of people will use the egg instead. And then you put it back in the milk again. This is where people put like breadcrumbs on their fish. And you put it back in the coconut flour. Now, it doesn't take but maybe 10 minutes or so for fish to cook. When it starts to flake, that's how I test it. So I'm going to put this. This is the cod, by the way. Cod with coconut breading. I'm going to put that in there. The other fish that I have is like this is flounder. And instead of using the coconut, I'm going to make it lemon pepper flounder. I'm tossing it up there a little bit. A little different. So I'm going to take my coconut flour, put it aside. So here I have my oat flour. Just enough in there for the one piece of fish. Ooh, that got hot sitting next to there. Same thing. You take your fish. The milk is to get it so that the breading sticks to it. And where's the lemon pepper? Well, I'm going to put it in there. Now, some people will take the seasoning and they will put it in the flour first before they put the fish in it. I put it in all fish directly. On the one wet side, I'll put it on there. Put the lemon pepper right on there. Then I'm going to flip it and then put lemon pepper on the other side. Now you're saying, well, why didn't you put it on it before you put it in there? Because I'm going to bread it again. So I'm going to take that, put it back in the, put it back in the flour. My hands are getting yucky. Now I've got like fish dough. I didn't want the coconut flavor to mix with the lemon pepper. That's why I did this way. And we put that in the pan. Hear that sizzle. That sizzles up like crazy. So I've got lemon pepper sealed to the fish directly. Messy. Like that. Now, the next thing, you're probably wondering, what are the sweet potatoes for? Well, they're for the skillet. Yeah, I have a skillet. I have an iron skillet up here. I started experimenting with this skillet cooking stuff as soon as I saw two ladies on TV. And they were cooking everything in the skillet, including dessert. And I thought to myself, well, that's kind of interesting. For my cooking of my fish, the oil, I put about 1/4 inch on the bottom of there. I use olive oil. I like the flavor of the olive oil when it cooks into the fish more so than regular cooking oil, vegetable oil. You can always use sunflower oil. It's very light in flavor. Peanut oil gives it a whole new flavor. Some people don't like peanut oil or they're allergic. You can go to canola if you like. Canola is typically what everybody uses. I don't like to be like everybody, obviously. Who cooks in the kitchen in their bare feet. So as this is cooking, and I'm glad I didn't put it too hot, because now it's going to slow cook. Any meat that you're cooking, if you can slow cook it, of course, slow cook is still going to cook fast. Don't get me wrong. It keeps flavor in better. I do that with when I do pork chops, or I do the, as soon as you can see on the very bottom, you can tell it's time to flip. That's when you can tell it's a nice golden base underneath. Is around the edge, you'll see a golden ring. You'll see a golden line. You can also see, if you've got it positioned in the pan, how it's cooked halfway up. It's no longer translucent. It's not that, clear kind of. Now it looks solid. Well, you'll see that also at the same time. And I like to swish the oil around the edges of it, kind of like cook up on the edge. There's an old trick where you can take your spatula, kind of flip oil onto the top. That's what we do with overeaten eggs. That way when we flip them, we don't break the yolk. We hate broken yolks. Only that. My family did. So I'm just watching. I got another, this has only been, 2 minutes maybe. So, okay, what am I doing with the skillet? Well, what's going in the skillet is the scallops. Yeah. My broiler for my oven, and this is an electric oven. I'm used to gas. I've always had gas in the past. Well, in this house, no gas, just electric. So what I've done is I'm going to do broiled scallops without broiling them, so to speak. I put my oven at 450 degrees. I have cooking spray. Just to be safe, I'm going to spray it on there. Then I have my scallops right here. Now, they've thawed in the bag, so there's juice in here. There's scallop juice in there. I'm not going to waste it. I'm not going to dip it in the milk either. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to put these on a towel. I'm going to use that juice for something later. I'm going to put these on a towel. Paper towel. Let me clarify. Paper towel. And with the paper towel, I'm going to kind of pat them dry without patting them. I'm just going to put them on the towel and move this because I need this for the salmon. Yeah, I had a lot of fish in my fridge. How about that? So I'm going to take these scallops. I'm going to get them out of here with a spoon instead of get my hands all fishy. There we go. Let's see. I have a slotted spoon I can use for this. Oh, it's almost time to flip the fish. Oh yeah, that's looking really nice. I take the scallops and I'll put them on there. I'm going to cook every single one of them just because I can. Now these are going to be broiled, baked broil it. The oil on the pan is actually going to help cook them. Now, before I put those scallops in this skillet, the skillet goes in the oven. And you want it to be in there at least for 2 or 3 minutes at 450. So I'm going to put this right in here. But you do have to be careful when you put any food in it. You don't want to burn yourself. And the iron skillet, it's solid metal. So I think I have a couple of pieces of fish that can be flipped. I'm going to take a peek at the bottom side. Oh yeah, okay. That looks really good. I had to turn the heat up just a little bit because it's not browning as quickly as I'd like. I did that to preheat the oil. It's always good to preheat your oil if you're going to fry anything. Don't try to put it in cold oil and then heat it up to temperature because then you're going to burn it. It's going to mess up the flavor. So I'm towel patting the scallops on here. So get most of the moisture off because once they go into that hot oil in the oven, you know, they're going to singe. That's the broil part. But I'm going to have them have company in there. They're going to have the sweet potatoes with them. Yeah. So the sweet potatoes are going to be like roasted potatoes. The other night, this is the favorite part, and I cooked 4 of them on purpose. I will typically cook more of a potato on purpose for 2 reasons. It's great with dinner, and it's awesome if you want to put it in an omelet for breakfast. Or you just want to have, home fried potatoes. And we have home fried potatoes a lot. So on the scallops, I'm going to take some Old Bay seasoning. I know you typically use this with crab, but it's really good with scallops. I'm going to stick that on there. And that way when they broil and you go to eat them, it's like, ooh, Old Bay. Yum. Also have some melted butter on the side. That's going to be good. This is all treats for when my husband gets home. I'm going to let him have a choice. Like, hey, hon, what do you want to eat? Oh, I got everything. So, since I'm going to put this in that skillet, and I'm going to put the sweet potatoes in the skillet, before I put the scallops in the skillet, I'm going to take just a little bit of fresh lemon juice, fresh squeeze, and squeeze it on there. And I'm also going to take the same lemon and squeeze it on my frying fish. And that's just like that. Just a little bit of citrus. Okay. I'm going to need, I can use this scallop. Yeah, actually get that off of there. I'm going to flip, I think this other fish is ready to flip. Yes, it is. And let these guys cook. Now I can put it up to medium, let them finish. All in all, it's about 20 minutes for the fried fish to be done. What I will do a lot of times, if I see that the first side I flipped it could have been darker, I'll flip them one more time. I just like them crunchy, I guess. So this is the tricky part. You got to be careful. You're going to scoop up the sweet potatoes like this. And we're going to stick them in that skillet in the oven because it's been in there a good 2-3 minutes. And it'll sizzle, which is good. Now you can put something on your sweet potatoes if you want. What I like to do to make it like this sweet potato casserole kind of thing is when they're done, take them out, sprinkle brown sugar on top. That's what makes them good. And they're going to sizzle a little bit. I'm going to put them in here. That's good. Now I'm going to put the scallops right next to them. You can cook more than one thing in the pan in the oven. You don't have to do just one thing. And now I'm going to take these guys. I'm going to get off of it. Sometimes they want to stick. Since I love my Old Bay, just in case some of it gets stuck to the pan, I have to put a little bit more on the other side. I'm going to take that, just like this, and toss it in there. Oh, it smells so good in here. All right, guys, fry it up. So in about 2 minutes, I'm going to flip the scallops. so that they'll cook on all sides. Now, I kind of decided that I really want to do my one piece of salmon I have with the coconut flour, but since I don't have a whole lot in there, I'm going to mix with it the other flour that I have. Where'd it go? There it is. And I'm not worried about the lemon pepper part because of what I garnish my salmon with at the end. You know, you're supposed to have citrus with fish just because I guess it works. Oh, it has. And so I figured lemon pepper on salmon, that's all right. But a few days ago, I made a compote of sorts, or a preserve, and I made it with strawberries and guava fruit. I'd never had a fresh guava fruit, and I love guava juice. Oh my goodness. I made guava preserves with strawberries. This is what on top of the salmon when the salmon's done cooking. Believe it or not, it does. I'm going to grab a big plate that I did not take out. Now, if it's just yourself and your significant other, you only need maybe 3 pieces of fish. Yeah, because I've come to find out that sometimes you make something really good, your sweetheart wants a second piece. So even though there's only 2 of us, I usually do a 4-serving kind of meal. So I cook 4 pieces of fish, I've cooked 4 sweet potatoes, and that sort of thing. So here I've got 1 sliver of salmon, and I'm going to put it in my flour mixture, just like this. I'm going to make my fingers messy again, huh? Just like that. And I'm going to put that in the milk, like that. Bring it back, flour it up again. It gives it a nice breading without using breadcrumbs. Gives it a little coconutty flavor, kind of like a Caribbean thing. And my fish is starting to kind of fall this way as it's cooking, so that means it's going to be done pretty soon. But I like to see good and golden. That's just me. I mean, it doesn't take, well, it's taking a little longer just for the fact that I didn't have my heat turned up, so it's taking about 3 minutes longer than normal. So I did move the heat up on this. I got the scallops in there, and I'm keeping that in my head. So I'm going to spend 2 minutes. Let me check and see how we're going here. Oh, these are doing wonderful. Oh, yeah. Now, the scallops only take about 4 minutes, so I'm going to put my timer on 2 minutes since I didn't do it the first time. And my sweet potatoes are in there to the side. Now, if I really was concerned about the flavor of the scallops spilling over to the sweet potatoes, I could have put a piece of aluminum foil under there and put one on one side. Timer on 2 minutes, and the scallops will be done. I'm going to flip this piece of fish. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's a golden brown. Yeah, I just scooped my breading off of this one. Sorry. That's beautiful right there. So you mean it. That got them nice and golden brown. Oh yeah, that's gorgeous. Woo. I get excited when my fish gets almost done because I'm like, oh, I get to eat it, or at least some of it. I don't eat all of it. Gotta leave some for the hubby. That's there. Some of the breading came off. I'm just going to glue it back on there. In a manner of baking. That, the thicker your fish is, the longer you have to cook it. But it's usually not. And then for those of you who don't have fish, I got the julienne ham. Pull the scallops out and I'll put them on the plate as well. Sweet potatoes are doing their thing in there. So on medium heat, This would take about 10 minutes, depending on how thick your the milk wash. And that's the best part about it. I'll make sure I don't burn the other side, because this one side is gorgeous. Yes, it is. Absolutely gorgeous. And I don't have to add any more oil for the salmon. It's already got the olive oil in there. There's going to be some remnants of coconut flour, which is fine because I coated it in coconut flour. All right. And this, the way you tell, if you want to absolutely make sure and go by time that your fish is done, what I do is I'll take either a fork or a knife. And this is the thicker fish has still got some fleshy stuff to it. Okay, you're going off. So I'm going to leave that in there. We'll check the other piece. Always check the thickest part of the fish. And if it's like nice and white, like solid white, not like a translucent kind of white, then it's done. So I'm going to move this over there. I'm going to skillet with the scallops, because the scallops are done. All right. Scallops are done. They shrink up. That's what scallops do. And they're totally cooked. They're like little nuggets. Little nubs of fish. And the sweet potatoes are not done yet. I like to have them get a little bit of a crusty look. So I'm going to put them in there, flip them over a little bit. Now, if you want to caramelize these, throw butter in there with them. Oh, yeah. Put some butter in there. That will work really well. So, let's see. Let's check one more time on the other side. Almost. 2 minutes on that. I say 2 minutes because it's like almost solid white. So I'm just kind of, it's a guessing game because not all fish is created equal, let alone cooking time for fish. I don't care anybody says. There goes the salmon. I had used too much flour. So I hate wasting flour. Like this. Old Bay scallops. Oh my gosh. Those are good. Yeah. And it's all there is to them. You don't need anything else on them. So, I need, what's coconut? Now the ham, the onions, and the green peppers. You put them in the skillet, in the oven. Let them cook through, stir them a few times until the peppers are soft, the onions are soft. Or you can do it in a frying pan or a skillet. And this one is finished. Look at this golden color. Look at this golden color on this fish. Good. Ooh. That's the lemon pepper. This is the coconut cod. Yeah, it just kind of fell apart as I put it on the plate. That's when you know it's done. But that's the golden brown I was talking about. That's the color you want. It's gorgeous. Okay. I got 43 seconds on the stuff in the oven. Now, when your oil starts getting soaked up by what you've been cooking and breading items, you want to scoop that out. I do. I usually have little bowls hanging around somewhere because it will burn. It'll set off your smoke alarm. It'll get too hot. Now, because most of the oil was used up by the other fish, I'm going to put a little bit more oil in here for the salmon. And then I'm going to ham in the same pot. So I won't have any of this coconut flour stuff on my ham. Yes, darling, I know. Okay. But I do need to put just a splash, about a teaspoon and a half of the olive oil. I'm going to take my julienne ham, throw that in there, and the julienne onion, red onion is preferred, and then my peppers, green bell peppers, and banana peppers. And those peppers are right out of my garden. Now I've got to turn the salmon fish over. I think it has, yeah, like that. And put that little over right there. Now if you find where stuff looks kind of dry in there, like if your onions aren't becoming translucent fast enough, you can put another, oh, this smells so good. Oh my goodness. Love the smell of bell peppers cooking. Don't you? Don't you love bell peppers when they're cooking? They smell like fanatical. Ah! A little bit more of the olive oil, just a teaspoon. No onions are allowed to jump ship. I'm going to let them kind of snuggle up next to the salmon. Ha! Now, salmon does not take that long to cook. It really doesn't. For some reason, the meat of the salmon cooks fairly quick. I've noticed that when I'm cooking with it. So if I had some rice, I would put this ham mixture with the peppers and the onions on the rice. Or have this by itself and the rice next to it. And serve it any way you like. You don't have to put any seasonings on this because the flavor from the peppers in there works great. Now, if you want to spice it up really good, throw a jalapeno sliced up in there. I've done that too. Put that on there. Have pepper on there. All right. Let that salmon cook. Come on, check on the. Oh goodness, yes. Okay. This sweet potatoes are starting to get a little bit of browning, as if they were being roasted. And that's what I wanted, was a roasted look. Give them another 2 minutes on that. 2 minutes is a good guessing time. And you're not quite sure, because if you do more than 2 minutes, if you do like 4, you can burn it. I don't like burning my food, so I don't like to do that. I'm going to put the salmon on a different plate with the sweet potatoes because they're going to pair up. So let me grab another plate for that. I use a black. 2 seconds, 2 minutes. No, 2 minutes. Come on, do the timer thing. And I'm going to keep this ham and the onions going. The olive oil puts so much wonderful flavor to everything. It puts, it seeps into the ham, the peppers, anything you cook in it. I highly recommend it, using the olive oil. It's also a healthy oil. Better for you. And I can't wait to dig into this stuff. And I don't like to cook my peppers to where they're soft. I want to have a little bit of crunch. Then it's just awesome that way. Now my onions are done. So when the onions are done, this basically is done. I'm not going to wait for the peppers to cook anymore because I want them to have a little bit of crunch and that fresh, picked off the bush taste. So I'm going to plate this up. You can actually mix all these things together. You can have a fish and meat dinner. They have surf and turf, right? Well, you can do ham and salmon dinner if you want. I'm going to save this other half for my other half. And I'm going to cut this salmon in half. So he will have a yummy dinner when he comes home. And that way I also get to check the doneness of the salmon. Just cutting it in half. And salmon is done. Salmon is done. So I get to turn this pan off. Now, if you're not going to serve fish right away to keep hot, just put the lid on the pan, turn the heat off. It does not hurt the fish at all. Matter of fact, sometimes more flavor comes out of it, in my opinion, when you do it that way. So I'm going to have my salmon piece and my ham and peppers. I hear you, honey. And now the sweet potatoes get to come out and say hello. In that hot, hot, hot skillet. It is hot. Oh, boy. Oh, yeah. And I can see the sweet potatoes. Look at these guys. Look at the color on this plate. Can you get over this beautiful scenery right here? I mean, really. What do you think? Wait, I have to put my serving of scallops on here. Yeah. I'll put my scallops in there. So it's kind of like seafood and veggies, you know, that sort of thing. Now I'm thinking about melting some butter to dip them into, but I might probably just leave them alone. And then, what am I missing? I know. The guava and strawberry preserves. That's for the salmon. If you've never tried a sweet taste, it's kind of sweet and tart. I'll turn that burner off. Lived in another state. I had guava paste in the cabinet, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I stuck it on the fish because that had, you know, citrus, lemon, or whatever on fish. But it's a very wonderful complement to the salmon. And this really makes a great meal. I know it's not your normal kind of meal, but it's gluten-free, lots of protein. You've got the omegas in the salmon. You've got your vegetables. The peppers have vitamin C in them also, especially the sweet potato. And you can't beat this. Look how beautiful it is. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And I'm going to dig in a minute. But if you've seen anything here that you would like to see more of, you want to see more fish dishes or whatever, I can make a meal. It's not your traditional kind of meal, but this goes great with white wine. And I have some. So I'm going to get my white wine and have it with my fish. If you don't know about the wine rules, if the meat is dark, it's red wine. If the meat is light, it's white. The wine has to complement the meat. So, videos. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear. Also, please hit that like button. I'd like to see that. And not only that, subscribe. Subscribe to my Barefoot Country Cooking. And, hey, kick off your shoes. Come cook it with me, Barefoot Country style.